Vince, how are you?
Great, Doug.
Good to see you again. You
Yeah, likewise.
were in San Diego last week or week before at the Brighton SEO conference. Last week?
Yes. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
end of September.
2 weeks ago, end of September. And I know you presented at it. And one of the big discussion points at the conference was, I'll call it the evolution of SEO that's now becoming more focused on answer engine optimization, or AEO, or some are calling it GEO for Generative Engine Optimization. We just stick with one. What what did you hear at the conference? What was the talk du jour at the conference?
It was funny. I mean, the reason we decided to talk was, yeah, because I said this was such a big thing at the conference. It literally, virtually every talk was about something like this: how to optimize your strategy for this, why you need to optimize your strategy for this change in SEO to, yeah, GEO, AIO, whatever. There's so many terms, and that's kind of like
EIO, yeah,
yeah, that's a separate conversation that's being had on LinkedIn as well. And there is some compelling pushback as to, does it even need its own name? Is it just doing SEO? And you can, I would say there was nothing super tangible, honestly, from the conference itself, because a lot of it is so unknown. A lot of it is moving so quickly. I can tell you the things that I kind of have been following from the people that I know their stuff. Mike King is probably the smartest guy I kind of follow for this stuff. He's from an agency called iPullRank. He's got like a super technical background, and he has really been digging into all this stuff. He was one of the first guys to be introduced to the Google leaked information from last year, and he's really dug into how all this stuff works. And I actually had him on my podcast to be like, Mike, just break it down for me. For people who don't follow this stuff every day, what are the things that you need to be doing? And realistically, it's all, again, kind of SEO best practices, but I'll give you a couple kind of tips. And one of the things that he talks about is breaking up your content into semantic units. So breaking it down into kind of more concise paragraphs that quickly and easily answer the information, rather than just like these big word salads, right? Like answer things as quickly and directly as possible. The other thing to note is it does like unique insights. It does like new data. It does like expertise, things that you can really show that are going to be unique to you. So this does make sense for like in digital PR. That's why I think there's been such a big boost in this, and like being able to provide unique data. That is what a lot of people like. So that can, if you are including your own unique data that does not exist within AI's large language models, you do kind of increase the chances of yourself being cited as an authoritative source. Because to kind of understand it a little bit, like typically the way these work is you ask a question to a ChatGPT or an AI overviews, and it'll kind of go to its bulk information that it's taught on, right? It's trained on. And if it doesn't know that stuff, it will go and search the web for, call it like RAG, which something retrieval augmentation guidelines or something. I don't know all these acronyms, but that's kind of how it works. So if it doesn't know the thing that it needs to know, it'll go out and find it. That's why you hear often recent questions that have like a high that require recency. Like if I'm saying what was the Phillies score last night, it would, it's not going to rely on this trained data set because that doesn't exist, right? It needs to find the most current article. So that's where, again, like in the digital PR world, that's why I think a lot of people are gravitating towards digital PR, because you want to get in the news and you want to get cited in the news, because those are that types of articles that are going to get cited a lot and get surfaced because they have to do with recency.
So if I'm excited about, I'll just use ChatGPT as an example. There's other generative AI, Claude, Perplexity, blah, blah, blah. But if I want to come up in the searches, if someone is searching my topic, and I've got a great podcast on that topic, and I want it to come up in the search, this is where answer engine optimization is going to play a factor, and it may push them to my Apple link or to my Spotify link or more likely my YouTube link. This is where I've got to start to use some of these strategies.
Yes. And it's interesting because a lot of the strategies that people are using to surface themselves are kind of what used to work in SEO like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They're kind of like spammy seeming. And a lot of people are just kind of quote unquote gaming the system because they're finding these easy ways in. And I'll give you an example of one. So say you wanted stories and strategies to show up more when people searched what are the best podcasts about PR or whatever. The tactic you take is you get your podcast listed on as many best PR podcasts listicles, for lack of a better term, as possible. Yeah. You might be paying for them. You might be doing some type of exchange, right?
Yeah, like FeedSpot. FeedSpot's one of those. So
yeah. But you're really looking for bloggers and those types of sites as
advocacy.
Well. Yeah. Because that is what people are seeing. And not only that, but you're also writing your own articles on storiesandstrategies.com that says this is the best.
Date? This strategy is old now?
Well, I mean, it's working right now. It is kind of a weird SEO strategy, I'd say, because, typically, depends on who you ask. Typically, if you're going to a website and you see what are the best PR podcasts, and I'm going to stories and strategies, and you're ranking yourself number one, are you going to trust them? Are you going to trust that this is, So that's why I say it is out of date. Now I think in the past few years, like I've even done this myself on our website, the people that are smart about this have done it in a way where it's like, I'm going to present this stuff out and I'm going to put some competitors on there. I'm not going to worry that much about that. Let the user decide. I'm going to present myself in a good way, but maybe I will list my cons, get strategic about it, but I'm going to, be as truthful and trustworthy as possible. Whereas now I think you can get around that, and the algorithms that are behind ChatGPT and AI mode and AI overviews and such just aren't as sophisticated yet to account for that. I think they will be, but like if you're thinking short-term gains, like that's where all the people are gravitating towards. And that's not the only one. I mean, again, to your point, a lot of the other strategies are off-page advocacy, like getting yourself mentioned in forums and going on Reddit. If someone's mentioning the best PR podcasts, or I want to, how do I produce my own podcast? And you're getting stories and strategies mentioned out there. Mm-hmm. That's great marketing, right? And that's where the conversation goes to, this is just normal SEO. This is more of the same. But I think the thing that people are taking it at the level that people are taking it right now is now you're creating fake Reddit usernames and having people, go on there and advocate for you via fake people and fake authorship. So there's a lot of the spamming happening. Although in the past couple of weeks, I think we've seen Reddit fall out a lot due to some changes in Google's how Google's crawling some information. But needless to say, there is still at its core, I think you can do a lot of the same stuff that is great for a user, and it is going to be great for AI citations and showing up in AI. Write for a user, give them stuff that they're not seeing anywhere else, provide them a lot of value. And when I say write for a user, make it scannable, right? Like put the most important stuff, make it the biggest, make it really easy for someone who's just scanning the page, because we all have goldfish brain and we're barely reading what we're seeing online. That's the kind of stuff that that I think you need to do as a writer and as an SEO, as a content producer. Think about it that way. I think you're going to check a lot of these same boxes, and to my knowledge, at least the way I think about it, you're going to future-proof this stuff that you're doing. You're not going to kind of lean on one particular strategy that someone's exploiting right now. You're going to kind of future-proof it for users, but then also for where I think these algorithms and the behind the scenes and the machine learning and stuff is going to eventually suss a lot of this spammy stuff out, and what's going to rise to the top is the right stuff.
Well, if you ask ChatGPT, what's a great digital PR newsletter that I can subscribe to, BuzzStream had better be, if not number one, in the top 3 if you're listening to me, ChatGPT algorithm. Vince, thanks for your time today, man.
Thanks so much, Doug. This has been great.